This is FoosWeek, folks. I'm Adam Gilson. There's Tom Robertson. That's Hannah Smith. Your one-stop positivity shop for all things foosball. We got a good one here for you today, folks. We have two guests that are going to be talking to us about the European Championships leagues and the Bundesliga in Germany. This is going to be a good one. But before we get to that, I want to see how Tom Robinson's doing. Tom.
Just lovely. Basking in the the sunshine and some of the frost here in upstate New York, and mainlining coffee.
Yes.
Just
You would have to
intravenous.
You would have to mainline coffee if you're basking in literal frost.
Yes.
That's frightening. I'm going to send you a coat.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, it does.
Man, we just want to plant the gardens, and we can't do it because of the frost. It's crazy.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tom. I didn't know.
Oh well.
Hannah, how are you doing?
It's great. It's like 90 degrees here, sunshine, blue skies. We're great.
All right. Well, before we get to our guests, Lilly and Vivi, I'm going to hand it over to Hannah, who has a lot of fun coming her way. Hannah.
Yeah. Super excited about this weekend. We're going to be talking about the Bundesliga, and it's coming up in June, and I can't wait to meet with our guest. I think these two veterans are a great fit to tell us a little bit about that scene and to give us some ideas about, what it is, because my experience has been American foosball my entire life. It's all I've done is play since I was 12, and I played here and there, and I've did all the tour stuff here. But I've missed out on the international aspect, and I think that's a really, really big deal. That it's like unlocking a new world. It's like, wow, they have so much stuff going on there. So, to bring in our guest, let's meet Lilly and Vivi. How are you guys today?
Hello.
Hello.
Pretty well, yes.
Hi.
Thank you. And
Perfect. Yeah. I'm really glad you guys are on. So I guess to start a bit, can you just give me a little bit of personal background, Vivi, of how you got into foosball? What is special to you about foosball? Just a little bit of your personal background. What do you do? Anything like that?
Well, I started pretty late with foosball. I ever touched the table the first time I was 25 when I was studying, and it started completely random at a bar. And so we had some friends there, and we just had some fun there. And then it came up, so we had some bar tournament, like a very tiny bar tournament. And after that, I started playing. It was in, I think, 2008 or 2009 when I started playing not international, but national foosball tournaments. They are called like challenger tournaments here, where you got to play really lots of matches a day for small money. So it was like, I think, more or less like €5, and you could play like the whole day. And that's where I started and got some practice in tournaments, national tournaments. And then the next year, in 2009 and 2010, I took over and added some more tournaments, also like starting P4P tournaments, like another tournament series in Germany and also in Europe. So it was like I got addicted to it, like I think everybody else does, when you get into this foos scene and foos family and getting to know so many players and becoming friends. And it was like when I got to know those people, I got addicted to them. I got addicted to the challenges, and for the first time in 2010, I become women's German championship title. I don't know, in women's doubles, and so that was, I think, maybe more or less like the start for also the international things. And I think in 2011, I started my first ITZF tournament on Bonzini, actually, with Lilly, my partner here. And after that, it was like a pretty nice startup for me into the national team as also. And became more and more all over the years. And now I'm, as you know, actually at the moment I'm taking a break from foosball, so I'm only more or less supporting the team and watching. But I still love to see the people, and yes, so it's like a small, tiny part of my food life from for now. I don't know if there are any more details you want to know. It's
Ah,
more or less.
yeah, no, that's amazing, and it's so cool to me that you started in a bar, because here you go to a bar, there's very very rarely a foosball table anywhere. We have lots of
Okay.
pool tables, but no foosball at all. And if it is, people are like sitting their drinks on them and like spilling and like drinks. It's just tragedy. It's so bad. So you can barely even move the rods if there is a table here.
Okay.
But it is so cool that you started there, and then you said like 3 years later you're German national, women's doubles champs. Like how great. So there has to be a scene over there, for that to evolve. But that is really, really interesting. How about
Yeah,
you,
but
Lily? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's fine.
For me, it was pretty much the same. I started like one night when I was out with 3 of my friends. It was not really in a bar, but it was the only time we played like in a youth club. One of them, he was taking care of the youngsters in the youth club, and so he had the keys. And at night we didn't know what to do, and there was a pool table, there was something for playing darts, PlayStation, everything, and there was a foosball table also. That's where I played for not really the first time in my life. I played when I was a small child also, but I didn't find it that nice because actually I played against my father then, and he was not good at all, but he was way much more better than I were. So I lost all the time and I hated it. Yes, and when I was around 19, I met foosball, like really started there playing this one night, and it was a lot of fun. So I started playing in bars as well. And I did that for like 2 or 3 years before I started to play like my first real tournament. I have some notes. I have to stick to them because I'm really, really bad at dates. So it was in 2002 when I started this. And I played my first official tournament in 2006. And that's actually when I got nominated at the end of the year for the German national team as well. So it went pretty quick. I think it was more about I had some talent, I had some good hands, but I was not really a good player at all at that moment. But the scene in Germany at that time was really a little bit complicated because it was kind of divorced in 2 parts. And there were not many women playing. And the coach at that time of the German national team, he was like, okay, maybe we can make something out of her. I mean, they were playing multi-table events, and the only table I know was not even an official table. So I never touched an official table yet until then. And I was nominated for the team anyway, because they thought maybe we can like build her up to something. And it was a big chance. I played my first tournament for the national team in 2007 then. And it was also the year when I participated at my first World Championships, and it was crazy. I finished 5th. I don't know how. I just got lucky, I think. But it was. I mean, it's over 20 years now that I started, and it's almost 20 years that I have experience in the professional scene. And in Germany, I can say it changed a lot until then. So, yeah, a lot of development, and it's really nice.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's crazy to think that you've been playing professional foosball for that long, but as any international, like I didn't even know that was a thing in 2002, that there was a World Cup, there was, all this going on in this different world than I was in Mississippi. So,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
think
the
the
same
first
for me.
I think the first World Cup was in 2006 in Hamburg.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
started in 2002, but the first World Cup was, as far as I remember, I said I'm not good at dates. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was 2006, yes, I think.
Okay. And you've been to every World Cup since 2006.
Yes, I think so.
You should have, yes. You should have.
Yes, I think so. I'm not, I wouldn't promise, but I think, yes, I don't think I missed any. Yeah.
Wow.
Since
That's
I've been
amazing.
there since 2010, I think you should have been before also. So that's
Yes, I have been in 2006 to Hamburg. This was the first one. I didn't know anything about it, so I was not there. My first World Cup was in 2007, but from then I was there. Yes.
And back then, World Cup was each year or every other year?
It changed a lot. I think it was at some point. At that point, we had World Championships and World Cup. World Cup was the team event, and it was taking place every 4 years. But the World Championships have been taking place every year, so it was a little bit different than now.
Awesome. All right, Adam, any thoughts on any of this information we've got so far?
Yeah, first off, I really appreciate the both of you taking the time out of your day. We are 9 hours apart, I think. I'm on the West Coast. No, yeah, I'm on the West Coast here in the US, and you all are, I think, 9 hours ahead, right? The CET is that I'm so bad at numbers. Oh my gosh. That was so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, night, whatever, especially because we're a little bit off kilter with our normal schedule, which is again, Tom, Hannah, I'm glad you guys are here too. This is great. This is educational for me. And I want to know something because you mentioned, Lilly, youth clubs, foosball youth groups or youth clubs. Could you tell us more about that?
Okay, I don't know if it's known in the US. We have some kind of institution here in Germany. We call it youth clubs. It's for kids after school if they don't know where to go. I think every small town even has at least one. So instead of, I don't know, going to the streets doing stupid things, you can go there, and they have a lot, like there's a community, there's people that are taking care of you, and they offer you a place to be, and of course you get in touch with other youngsters, and they have a lot of games and stuff just to get you entertained and do something nice.
So is it around, because we have something I don't think we have like we have the Foos Clubs USA, which I think was trying to emulate what you all do there, but what you're talking about isn't just for foosball, it's a bunch of other things, and foosball is one of them, right?
Yes.
So
yes, foosball mostly is one of them, yes.
So is it like one organizer that does it? Is it the state that does it? Like how does it all tie together? Am I making sense with that question?
Well, it's as it's not about foosball, it's not like a main organization or something. Most of the time, it's the town or the city. They organize it, and it's the place not especially for foosball, but just for youngsters to go.
Okay, because I know that the challenge here is that there's no like centralized way of doing it. So like John O'Brien passed away, unfortunately, but one of the things that he did was go into the schools and try to work with them to convince them to get tables there, and that was it. It wasn't like beyond. It was all foosball, but there was a lot of it was a lot more challenging for him to have to do that. So it's exciting for me to hear. It sounds like it's everywhere over there. This is occurring everywhere.
Well, it is in some kind of way. Foosball is pretty popular, as we still have it in bars, and we have it in youth clubs, and also we have it in schools. In companies, like startup companies, they normally have a foosball table for the breaks and everything. So it's pretty popular, but it has been more in the past. And the interesting thing is, talking about these youth clubs, they are not only about foosball, but of course, we have a lot of foosball clubs in Germany, and this is because of the structure. So I think what you are asking for, we also have it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. I love that. I We all here are very pro foosball on this show, obviously, because we're here. But anytime we get to see kids playing and just having fun and making those memories, it's just so awesome. I just love it. I want to, yeah. Tom?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think it's interesting because I, as I told you before, I put down some notes, and it's also about the structure we have in Germany in here. So we have the German Federation. It's called the DTFB. So DTFB, and it's similar to the USTS you have.
Okay.
And the DTFB has like I'm gonna try to explain the structure a little just to get to know a little bit about the clubs, because Bundesliga, actually, what's the main topic we will be talking about, is one of the reasons we have a good structure and a lot of clubs in Germany. And it's the DTFB has 13 official members, and the members are like the federal states of Germany. I mean, we have more than 13, but this is the ones that have own federations. So the DTFB is the head federation. It belongs to the ITSF, you all know. And then we have this smaller federations. Those are the 13 members, and it's the federal states. And the federal states, they have then like all the small clubs. And if you have a look at the numbers, we have in Germany about 10,000 players registered officially in the DTFB. And they are registered in around 300 official clubs that exist in Germany, all over Germany. So
Do you know
this
how
is,
many are
and
active?
of course,
Is it like 10,000 active players?
it's about 10,000 active players. Yes.
Wow.
That's awesome. And so the structure, I guess the follow up for that is so everything, the foosball clubs, the after school stuff, does that fall under that same thing? Or is it all interconnected?
No, it's
different.
completely
Okay.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking with Vivi on the phone, we had a phone call and I think we talked for like 2 hours probably. And we were just talking about like, oh, foosball. I was like, so what's it like to go to a draw, like a DYP, a weekly DYP, in Germany? How does that go, or how many players, or are the players very high level? And I was just really impressed by how many people show up to play and how those go. So Vivi, can you tell me what I might experience if I came to see, just, hey, I want to go to a weekly Draw Your Partner? What would it be like?
I think it depends on the city you're going to, because of course there's this international, I mean, in Hamburg, for example, it's this big, huge foosball scene. You have so many players, so many good players. And for example, they have like it's called Mido. It's Wednesdays doubles there, and even there they are always around like 50 to 70 doubles per week, and really good doubles. So it's and on the other side, of course, if you just go to a smaller city where they only make like a small DYP tournament or something, maybe they're just like from 10 to 12 people. It really depends on how big the food scene is in the cities, and this is also depending to where you are in Germany. Maybe in Cologne, around that, there are also some more players, and maybe in Bavaria there are smaller places where you can also play, but maybe there are not that many players where you can go to and find such big tournaments, like for small DYPs, or like that.
I'm familiar with something called Tisch Foosball in Hanover. They have a training center there, which I was
Yes.
very happy to get a chance to play there in, let's see, 2011. And for a Friday night, they had 45 players show up, and they said it was
Yes.
a small group.
Yeah, Hanover is also
45 players, small.
That's huge here. That's a large tournament here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, but Hannover has also like a bit bigger foosball company, I think, in that corner. But I think Hamburg is the biggest one we have here in Germany. And we also have like these, it's called Landesleistungszentren, where they it's like, yeah, where they have these tables and where you can actually like really learn to play foos. And it's special for, I think, each part of Germany. I don't know if everyone has one yet, but they are building these things up, like getting more professional into the football scene.
Learning centers, you can go learn foosball? Is that?
Yeah, like the one that that Tom talked about. I
Wow.
think they have like a special room or special rooms where you can go to and where they have several tables and just
Do they have
you
like
can
an
go there and
on-site pro or something, or like how, like teaching people?
there are also people who teach where you can get some lessons or whatever. I don't know. I've never been to one, so it's not that I can talk about my own experience because I just played for my own and football tournaments. That's it. But I know about these institutions. So
Yeah, the training center had 14 tables. There was one Tornado, one Bunzini, and everything else was Leonhard.
yeah, I think normally they, of course, because in Germany the Leonhard table or the Ulrich table is most played table here in Germany. So, but of course, if you want to play internationally, you have to train on the other tables as well. So most of the centers also have like Bonzini, like a Roberto, like a Tornado tournament. Just in case they want to practice, they have the opportunity there.
How do you both feel about Tornado?
I love it.
Me too. It's very precise. It's very precise.
Yes.
I like it. And it's fast. I like it.
Yes. I actually played a Tornado tournament here in Germany once when it was more came here with for I don't know, I think it was in 2013 maybe. It's long time ago. But yeah, I loved it. I think it was even the the biggest prize money I ever got.
Wow.
We had one of those federal states organizations here in Germany. They were very special about Tornado, and actually, it's the place where I'm living at right now. And they still are. So most or a lot of clubs here have Tornado, play on Tornado, and they used to organize Tornado tournaments as well. So, yeah. We have different parts in Germany. We have also a part where they love to play Bonzini more. So, and this is the three main tables Leonhard and then Bonzini and Tornado. We have a scene for that.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that you can decide to start your foosball journey and say, okay, I live in Germany now and I want to play foosball. I went to a bar, saw some people that I knew playing, and now I really want to take this seriously. I think that journey goes a lot differently if I'm in Germany and in this situation instead of me here. Okay, I go to a bar and there's a foosball table there and okay, cool. People are playing. Okay, great. Well, for me, I would have to travel 3 to 4 hours to find a bar with a foosball table that anybody can play, seriously. Well, then I have to find that group of people that play there and hope that they can tell me what days they have tournaments. And I'm going to be terrible when I start. So where am I going to practice? I can't drive 3 hours one way just to go practice there, But it seems like foosball is so accessible in Germany, whether it is through foosball clubs or at your work or have these learning centers. And I think that could be part of the reason why you have such a great scene in Germany for foosball, as well as you just have more players interested. I mean, there is a barrier especially where I live now, that if you want to get into playing foosball, it's very hard. You have to have a table or hope, your uncle has a table or something so you can go and practice. So I think it's really interesting that those learning centers are there. And I'd be interested in learning, how that works. Who sets those up? Does the city want foosball? Like, what is the shift in what is foosball in Germany in comparison to what is foosball in America? People aren't always like, oh, I really want to get a foosball table into the school. They're more like, well, foosball is a bar game, so whatever, we'll get them a book or something, but it really is a great outlet for kids, to keep them off the street, to get them interested in something. And I really hope that was one of my favorite things that I learned about Germany was the accessibility of foosball when I was speaking to Vivi, because I was like, wow, that's just so different from where I'm at. And I think that's really, really amazing, an opportunity that I would love to have.
Yeah, but like I told you, Hannah, it's really you can, if you want to, you could go like almost every weekend to play in Germany, to go to a challenger tournament or something like that. So we have really lots of tournaments where you can join and get some practice and get to know the people. So that's really, yeah, it's easy, but still it's not that well known. I think maybe make like it sounds now, because even though also my friends, when I told them, oh, I'm playing foosball now and I'm going to the World Cup, and they were like, oh, there's something like a World Cup for foosball. It's still not like that well known, but maybe a little bit more than it's getting better, and we're going to get it more professional, I think, step by step. Lilly, you want
Sure.
to
And
add something?
yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Lily.
it's for me. I think it's interesting because when I started, it was not like that. When I started, the training center in Hanover, we were just talking about, it didn't exist yet. And the training center in Hanover, it was the first one that was built. So when I started, it was my first national tournament. It was about, I think, 100 players, and maybe 10 of them were women. So, and this was a big tournament at that time. When you have a look at the big tournaments nowadays, I mean, I don't know. We have had the World Series of Leonhardt once in Berlin. I think it was more than 600 players. And when you go to a normal, or well, not the smallest tournament in Germany, but like a Pro Tour or Master Series, something. Back at that time, we used to have, like, if it was much, we had 12 women participating in a tournament. Now it's, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80. It's a lot. So time changed a lot. It developed, and I think most of this development is actually due to one person we have in Germany, and it's Klaus Gottesleben. He's the president of the German Federation, and he's trying for years and years and years, and he did a lot for the sports and the development, and also the Bundesliga. When I started playing Bundesliga, I was playing on a mixed team, which meant I was the only woman. I was the only woman in that team, and the rest were men. And we went to the Bundesliga with a Berlin team, and this team was just like, we had 100 players in Berlin that were organized in some kind of a pub league. It was nothing official. And we got a wild card from the German Federation to participate in that Bundesliga at that time. So it was just like in amongst these 100 players that existed in Berlin, people were asked, like, do you want to go to the Bundesliga? And we had to drive like 600 kilometers. Most of the people had no interest. And I was one of two girls that participated with a wild card in this first Bundesliga. And it was completely different from everything we have right now, because now everything is like well organized. In Berlin, we don't have 100 players anymore. but a lot more, and they have different kind of leagues. So you have like a lower league and then to the top league, and when you get to the top league, you qualify for another league. Then you qualify to the Bundesliga, to the third Bundesliga, and then you can qualify. So it's like you can just go up and up and up. And at that time, like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something, I participated just by a wild card. And also it was just the Bundesliga. There was nothing else. And nowadays we have juniors Bundesliga, seniors Bundesliga, male and female Bundesliga, and we have first league, second league, partly also third leagues, and so on. So it changed a lot, and it's because in my opinion, because Klaus Gottesleben had a lot of visions and he worked hard to make them like real.
It seems like there's a big difference when it comes to playing foosball between Europe and let's say the United States. It seems like there's passion on both sides of the pond. Everybody loves playing foosball. You get addicted to it and you want to continue playing. But it seems, especially when it comes to top pros in America, they tend to shoot for the big money prizes. Whereas in Europe, it seems more like the glory of it all. Would I be correct in that observation, or is that am I off?
It's a difficult topic actually, because of course pro players would love to get some money out of it, but as there is no money in it, of course we just play for the glory and the honor. But well, if it comes to the main difference, I think the main difference is what, as far as I see, what I get out of it, because I don't know that much about foosball in USA as well, is that what I see is in the US you focus mainly on individual sports. So you play singles, you play doubles, that's it, any kind of, but that's it. And in Germany, we have the individual sports, but we also have the team sport. And I think this is something very special because you're normally in most of the sports, you have like, it's either individual or it's a team sport, so you have to choose. But foosball is one of some little sports you can choose where you have both of it in it. And in Germany, the team sports part is big, and this is what makes people found clubs and everything. Because me myself, I founded the Bears Berlin, so the club I am playing in, Vivi is playing in, and Hannah also will be playing in now. I founded it because I needed to found it. Because I wanted to participate in Bundesliga, you see? So the pressure comes from the top, and then you just found a club, and then it grows, and this is how it works.
So, I guess one quick question before we really dive into, what is the Bundesliga and the Bears story? So you said, these top pros aren't making money playing in tournaments, let's say. So are there ways that they are making money in Europe that might not be direct because of, say, Lilly, you go and you play and you win? Well, you might not win this money, but you may have, a radio show or like that you talk to, or a sponsor that wants you to go to so many tournaments or go to these learning centers. Or is there a way that players are getting paid somehow for foosball related activities, or is that not so much a thing?
It's the perfect question for Lilly.
Or Vivi, either one.
Yes, I would actually say, Vivi, maybe you want to talk because I'm talking so much. But yes, if it comes to that question, I'm going to take over, because I actually, I don't know for how long. I told you I'm bad at dates, but maybe 15 years or more. I made a living out of foosball. And it's about I had a partner and we founded a company, and we started with you could rent foosball tables. We would organize foosball events, such as tournaments for your company if you wanted to. And I, as a world champion, could be booked for promotion events, or most of the time it's more like companies, they do some festivity, and they want to present for their guests something special. And then I just jump in with a foosball table, and the guests can play against me, can ask me questions. I will get them to let them know something about foosball, about techniques, about how it works. And it's really nice because I think it works so good because foosball is very accessible for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you're grown up or a child, how big, how tall you are. Nothing does really matter. Everyone can play foosball. And the interesting thing, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in Germany, most of the people already played at least once in their life. They touched a foosball table and played some balls, and for most of them it's fun, because you don't need to be good at it to have some fun, because it's more about the laughing together and just trying, and it's loud, and people are always, if you put a foosball table somewhere, people will gather together, they will play no matter if they can or not, and they will have fun. They laugh, they scream, they shout. It's always nice. So I think why foosball events work pretty good is because people are not afraid of touching a foosball table and playing foosball. So and also it makes also people come together always. And I had a lot of requests for that. And as there were requests, we were thinking like, okay, why don't we make a business out of it? And it worked right from the beginning. So it changed, of course. And we have another, as the company developed in some other direction, which is also pretty interesting, I think, because it's also working with, it's connecting companies with future employees, like. So it's for school kids also, and it's pretty nice because grown-ups and school kids get together by playing foosball as well, and it's going pretty big, and I think it's gonna move a lot in the upcoming years as well.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. I love hearing that you had that opportunity to do that for so long. That's every Fooster's dream here in the United States, to be able to go and do that and promote yourself in the sport you love. But so follow up to what you're talking about. Because when people here in the U.S. make money, and that would be only Tony Sprademan really, going to tournaments, it's just the prize money, right? I'm just curious. So the World Championships, ITSF World Championships on Leonhardt is happening in August there, right? Is that the largest attended tournament in Germany? Like, is that the biggest tournament of the year? Does it make sense? Like large?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It should be.
And do you know, because I tried looking it up real quick, but I couldn't find it. Like first place, do you know what the prize money would be offhand, or like what it was last year?
Ooh.
Or is it even not like a?
I have no idea,
I
but
also
it's
have no-
But it's
in
not
comparison of what you have to spend for traveling, accommodation, and so on. It's nothing.
See, and that's the thing. Relatively, it's still. I mean, the World Championships that are on Tornado, it's a significant money amount. Not everybody there is going to make it, obviously, make that kind of money, but it's still a little bit more than I think it is what you're talking about. And yet, you all have a higher active player base with less money being involved. And just hearing you, the both of you, talk about foosball and your way it is and how you grew up with it, I'm starting to understand why that is. Why you have such a huge player base, even if the money isn't there, because that's the same story that we have here. I'm still trying to process everything I'm hearing here. This is a lot. Did that make sense? Like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vivi.
I think especially the Leonhardt World Series is of course the biggest tournament, but it's and you cannot compare it to the other tournaments like ITSF Pro or Master Series tournaments or Challenger tournaments where you have lower starting fees. I think for the Leo whereas you pay like maybe around 90 or 100 euros like for a whole package to like entry fees. And I think, I'm not pretty sure, but I think that I can remember for women's, for example, if someone wins women's singles, she maybe gets like 300 euros for the first place. Or yeah, but compared to what you have to buy for to get spend for the accommodation
Right.
and stuff like that, or traveling costs, if you altogether go out with a zero, I think it's still pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Breaking even.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and maybe for the men's it's a little bit different because they have a little bit higher prize monies, but still it's only for the top ranked players that they get a little bit of outcome maybe there, but most of the players, they really have to spend lots of money for all over the years where you go to every football tournament. Mostly you spend more money than you get. That's a fact.
I think the motivation should not be the money. The motivation is to like the game. This is what it's about, and this is what I think. I mean, nobody would complain if they would make a money out of it. Of course, it would be nice. And sometimes when we have tournaments that are about prize money, of course, people are like into it. But you know, you also said like it's not everybody's gonna make this money. You see, it's only like as the smallest part of the top players that will go into that money and make some money out of it, and the rest of the players, the base. This is the important ones, and I think this is what Vivi said in the beginning. Like we have tournaments you can go to every week if you want, and you get to play a lot for really small money, which means like $5, and you go and you play the whole day, which means that all the newcomers, all the people that start playing foosball, like, and they want to be professional, they get to play a lot, and they don't have to invest too much. They don't have to travel that far. They don't have to sleep over. They put like €5 and they start playing for the whole day. They get to do at least, I think, 8 matches, and it's nice. And then they can develop. They get addicted to the sports, and then they put their passion in it. And at the end of the day, it's not necessary to win some money. If this is what happens, it's a bonus.
Absolutely. And, it's kind of like from a business side, your pros and your top, 5% of players aren't the people who are going to be making the money for you. I'm sorry, it's how it is. You don't have that many elite players to make the money. The money is in your amateurs, your experts, your mid-layer base is who you want to attract and keep those guys happy, so you do have the money to run these great tournaments and blah, blah, blah. And another thing, people forget, or their perception of foosball gets lost so quickly. So say I host a tournament for $100,000. Everyone that shows up genuinely thinks they have a chance at winning the $100,000. So much that they'll like restructure their entire life to come and have a chance for this tournament. And then they're terrible, so they lose, right? I've never played before, but I'm going to go enter that tournament for $100,000. They're never going to win, but then they give up everything in their real life. Like they don't have a job, they don't have a home, whatever. People's perceptions can shift so drastically to thinking that they will win that they lose the idea of enjoying the people, the table, the community, how foosball is supposed to progress and to learn. And that is so common, and it's common in things even outside of foosball. But I think it's like a reality check. Like unless you're one of the top, you're probably not going to win. So you need to have something else after the tournament to go home to and to enjoy. And I think that can get a bit lost sometimes, especially when you focus on the individual portion of foosball. Like you said, in the US, there are no team tournaments. I've played maybe 2 my entire life, and they were at like nationals, our national tournament. We did North American Cup. So I'm from Mississippi. We picked, 6 people from Mississippi across the ranks to play against the rest of the states. And that was the first team event I've ever seen in the US be played or that I've been a part of. And I loved it. As soon as it happened, I was so intrigued by the team play. Oh, we're in a shootout now. Yeah, let's go. Well, if I've got to make this shot in this block. Like, I just love that so much. That was so crazy compared to being like, well, if I lose singles, I guess I just suck today. Next, I don't know. There's more to it than just yourself. And personally, I've watched a lot of foosball. I've watched, Bears Berlin play forever back in the day with the old YouTube videos. I've seen those and I've known these names, and I just was so wrapped up in the team idea. So that's something I want to know a little bit more of from you guys. So the Bundesliga is a tournament, and it happens how often does it happen? How many people show up? It's entirely team based, like you mentioned. So how often is a Bundesliga conducted?
If I may add something before, that's also because what we've been talking before now, I think it's also the reason why it's so popular in Germany, and all of the players, they all really love to join not only like the team events, but also like the smaller tournaments, because the level, it really got pretty high all over the years, because there are so many players that really wants to play, and they really got into foosball and enjoyed the game. And it's the same, I think, what happened to the Bundesliga, especially to the women's Bundesliga, which took place in 2010 for the first time. And from then, looking back all over the years, the level, it really grew with every year. And now we have really so many international players who really love to come to Germany to play this tournament, even though they don't get any money for this. It's really just the challenge that they love to deal with, I think. So yeah, it's just something I wanted to add, because I think it's the reason why.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting part as well, talking about the base. And I said the base is really important because that's where all the players come from, also the elite players. The interesting thing, this Klaus Gottesleben, I always refer to, has done, the women's Bundesliga is a very good example for it. He didn't build up the base first. He built up the top first. He started from the top. So he invented the women's Bundesliga, although there were not even a lot of women participating in tournaments. And I was really close to him at that time, and I was talking to him about it, and I said, what a stupid idea. We have barely enough women to go to form like a national team or something, and now you want to have a Bundesliga just for women. Where shall they all come from? But as soon as there was a women's Bundesliga, there were like 10 teams out of nowhere, and they just started playing, and it grew, and it made women play more because they wanted to participate in Bundesliga. And now it's even like we have a second Bundesliga, and we have girls coming up from everywhere, and I think they have this idols now, because they want to be at the top, and so they put all their passion in like developing and getting better. And when I started, I was not ambitious. I just did it for fun. Most of the girls that start playing today are more ambitious because they know about the structures, they know about Bundesliga, they know about the national team, and that's the goal. That's their big aim. That's where they want to be in future. And for me, it was just like I stumbled in. So I think it's really different.
So when it comes to the league and the Bears, who's your biggest rival in this coming season? And would you like to do some trash talking? Come on, we want to hear the straight stuff here. What
Trash talking.
So American.
Well, I thought that was universal. That
Just
the
trash
other
talk.
teams are.
Yeah. Well, wait.
So we have a lot of respect for all of our opponents, for sure.
Oh, but they suck.
Tom.
Totally.
No, they don't.
Oh, they
If they would, that would be easy. I mean,
That would be- yeah.
I don't remember which year it was, but it was the first year we participated with the Bears. Like the original team of the Bears. We have to be 4 players by then, and we played and we won like every single game we played because the level was not so high and we were like the pros in the complete league. So we beat everyone like badly. In the next year, it became harder, and afterwards, we started to struggle because as the more women that joined, the better the level was, and over the past few years, it feels like it kind of exploded because we had the league is very attractive. Bundesliga is very attractive, and I think actually Germany, the Bundesliga is considered one of the strongest leagues in the whole wide world. And I think that's why it's so attractive to all the international players to join, because we have players from all over Europe and now also, or not now also, I think it's the first US players in the women's league.
Humans.
But yeah, Tony, for example, he was playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, I think, already before. You know, top players from all over the world come to join in this German league and play for a German title, and they travel even more, and they have to put even more money into it, and they don't do it for prize money because there is nothing.
So, I think I understand, but it's it's different. We don't do anything like this at all. So the Bundesliga is the name of the tournament, or it's the name of the organization that creates the teams that play
Bundesliga. You could translate it actually. Liga is the league, and Bundes is kind of like national. So it's the national league. It's like the first league, of Germany. So if you win the Bundesliga, you're actually German team champion.
So the Berlin Bears are one of the competing in this league, one of the members of the league, or is it their own league?
Well, okay. Then I will go back to the structure. Or Vivi, you can go with the structure. You can go and explain the structure, right?
Actually, I just wanted to add, because it's not our league, it's like the national league, but we are just one club
You're a
taking
club
part
league.
in this league.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So and for
and so this tournament that you're going to, Hannah, that you all are going to next month, you're playing for one of the clubs in that league, right? The Berlin Bears.
Correct. That is how I understand it.
And,
yes.
And so what is
I was confused at first too.
So what is
okay?
What is,
I'm gonna try to explain properly. So we started talking about, we have the ITSF on top, and then we have DTFB, which is the German Federation, and we have this federal state associations I was talking about, and all these federal states associations. So the smaller federations in Germany, all those, they have leagues running all over the year, and we have like different kind of level with the leagues. So the lowest one would be, it's called Kreisliga. It's something like districts. Then we have Bezirksliga. It's something like county. Then we have Verbandsliga. It's something like region. So it's like a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. So we have all these different clubs participating. Clubs mean they don't form only one team. Some clubs they only have one team, but some clubs consist of more team, like 5, 6, 7, 10, 8, whatever. And they participate in different kind of leagues. And always in the end of the season, you can either like promote or you relegate, right? So you can just climb up the ladder of the leagues, and if you come on top of your like federal states league, you can participate in, you qualify for something that's called like a regional league. So we have for north of Germany, south of Germany, and the middle of Germany, 3 different parts. And then you play in this league, and if you qualify there, you can promote to the 3rd league, which is and the next one would be 2nd Bundesliga, and then you go to 1st Bundesliga. So Bundesliga, it's the highest league you can get to in Germany. So all over the year, we have a season where, I mean, really most of the player, I would say nearly every player is participating in some kind of league. So they play in a league with a team on a regular base.
That makes perfect sense. And then, so the culmination of that is this tournament next month. Is that correct? That's happening?
It's correct. Bundesliga, the 1st Bundesliga, it actually consists of normally you would have like these leagues. It's like weekly or every 2 weeks you have to play against another team. So you meet at night and you play. But for the Bundesliga, as it's like national, it's they bundled it to 2 weeks weekends. So we have 1st Bundesliga weekend, where we have a different kind of matchups, and then a 2nd weekend where we have more qualification matchups, and at the end, the playoffs.
This is so cool. This is so neat because this is so different than everything we do here, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So the next the follow up then is those 2 weekends of tournaments. What do they look like? What's the format? What's happening? Because you said it's team play, right?
Yes. Maybe I can get you some information to that. It's like the first weekend we had in I think it was in March, end of March. We had it in Hamburg, and the first women's Bundesliga. It's about 12 teams, I think, and we have like a qualification round. That means like every team gets to play against all the other teams. And each match is like, or each lineup, we have like 7 matches. It's like 5 doubles and 2 singles. So we made altogether, you get like for each set, you get 1 point, which means you can get 14 points altogether. And you always play like 1 set on your home table and 1 set on the opponent's home table. So that means for the whole season you have to choose 1 home table. So it's kind of a multi-table event, but in Germany most of the teams, they actually choose the Leonhard table. But you have the opportunity to pick Bonzini as well, and also the Ulrich table. We also there was also Tornado once, but it's not allowed anymore. So so you have this qualification round first, where you get to play against every other team. And depending on the ranking, we have like a qualification. That means like the first 6 teams get to play the elimination rounds. That means to play for the playoffs. So and in the qualification round, it's also possible that you play a tie, which is of course not possible for the elimination rounds. That means if you play a tie in the playoffs, you will also have the penalty shootout. Or is it shootout or shooting? I don't know. What is it in English? Yeah, shootout. Yeah, so it's a pretty intense format, and it's really important that you get the team support, that the team feeling, the team spirit fits you very well, because if there are difficulties sometimes in between players or insecurities, it really can affect the whole team. I think that's also a difference between individual matches and the team format. And so they have in the end if we have to get to play the playoffs, and we are ranked from place 1 to 6, then hopefully we go to the quarterfinal or semifinal, and then finally go for the title.
So that's what happened in March for the qualifiers, and that's going to happen again, but with the ones that qualified next month. Is that
The next month we still have to play the rest of the qualifying rounds, and then after that we have to play the elimination round.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's all in one weekend.
Gotcha.
I have a
Yes.
two-part question for you.
Yes.
First of which, in the States here, we have the IFP point system. ITSF has its own point system. Are you ranked over the entire, let's say, continent of Europe when it comes to your points? And the other part of the question is, how does that affect your play in Germany, or does it affect it?
Do you mean if there's a point ranking, especially for the Bundesliga, or do you mean in general?
So there's in the States there is the IFP that ranks all the players. So if you
Yes.
attend a tournament, you get a certain number of points, and those accumulate over your life, the life of a career of a foosball player. Does that happen in Europe with the ITF?
We have something in Germany, like of course a German national ranking, where you also can collect the points all over 1 year, and you start after 1 year you start at 0, and then you collect all the points again.
So it resets
for the
every
ranking.
year?
Excuse me?
So it resets every year?
Yes. For the German national ranking, it's like that. And of course, then we have the ITSF ranking, where you can collect the ITSF points for the world's ranking, but there's no special ranking for the European players specifically.
So in this, in our, and again, a comparison contrast in the States, we have rankings of beginner, rookie, amateur, experts, pro, and pro master. How does that reflect in Europe? What levels are there?
There is another. We have another not like federation, but another. It's not a
It's a
club.
federation.
It's a federation.
Yeah, something like it's a club.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's also a similar system, I think, where you can collect the points like all over the years, and it's not getting reset. And there we also have like rookies, amateur, master, and elite players. So that's the same kind of ranking, I think.
It's an ELO system. It's the one they use for chess, actually.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's different.
But it's not. Yeah, it's different, but it's not important to German players because this is something I mentioned before. When I started, it was really like kind of divided because we had like the official federation and this club that made his own tournaments, and they were acting really differently. And this is, you see, with the official German federation, we don't have any rankings. You just collect points, so you could qualify. It's similar to the ITSF ranking you have. You just collect points over the season, and afterwards everything's erased, and you start from the beginning. And it's just like it's a little bit like I don't know, and you have no status at all. I mean, you're good or you're not. You don't need a status that says I'm an elite or something. You know, you win some titles or you don't. That's it.
I love
and
that.
especially for the Bundesliga, there's no ranking at all. There's only the players ranking in the end, where you get where you can see how many players.
It's not really it's not really a ranking. It's more like a statistic. I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
It's
that.
because people like statistics. Yeah.
Especially in Germany.
But it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give you any status or something. It's just for having a look, and of course you can see who was performing the best in this Bundesliga season. But it doesn't matter for anything because it doesn't give you the opportunity to for anything, or it doesn't qualify you for anything. And everyone can participate in the Bundesliga as long as he belongs to a club that is qualified. So you qualify over your club and your team. And it's not about individual players. So it doesn't matter if you're a rookie, if you started playing yesterday, if you can grab a place on a Bundesliga team, you can participate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
And the teams, how big are the teams? Like, what's the makeup of the composition?
Yeah, I think you have to be at least 6 players to build a team, and you can be maximum 9 or 10. I'm not sure now.
10.
10.
10.
Yeah.
So whenever you guys started the Bears, I take it in my understanding that the two of you have been with the Bears from the beginning, and you've pretty much helped build the Bears per se. So can you give me some insight on what it was like to take a team and try to build, the players you need to win, the players against this team, or, just having a really good team chemistry and like team environment. So can you tell me some things about what it was like for you guys building the Bears?
Okay, so I will start right from the beginnings, and I will hand it on to Vivi then, because I was, as I told before, I was going to the Bundesliga beforehand, so even before the Bears existed, with a wild card, and it was a mixed team. And I became the captain of that team, and at that point, it was things changed a little bit. At some point, we got the second Bundesliga as well, and we got fixed starting places for the Berlin Federation. So we could send 2 teams, the best 2 teams of the Berlin League, to participate in the second Bundesliga. And one of those teams, we were called Soccer Monkeys those days. We participated in the second Bundesliga, and at some point, we didn't know how it happened. We had the chance to promote to the higher league, to the first Bundesliga, because they wanted to make some changes. I don't remember the right numbers, but I would say something like they had 12 teams in the first Bundesliga, but they wanted to have 18 in the next year. So they allowed 6 teams to promote instead of only 2. And we said, like, okay, this year we get the chance. We just need to get to the first 6 teams somehow, and then we can promote to the first league. And it was funny because we finished first. I don't know how this happened. We never expected that. But we won the second Bundesliga at that year, and the next year we were. That's how we qualified for the first Bundesliga. And we experienced a lot of changes here as well, because for the first Bundesliga, you needed to be an official club. So beforehand, we have only been like a club, which means we have been 10 people that said, okay, we want to build a team together. We want to form a team and participate in the Berlin League. So we just said, hey, we are the Soccer Monkeys. We want to participate in that league. That's it. And at that point, it needed to be official, which means you have to go to a notary and sign some contracts with the notary, 7 people, building a club, having like president, and so on and so on. So it's really getting official, and you needed to have an official club to participate there. And that's why we said, okay, we need to found a right club. And we said, okay, if we do that, we want to have we want to try to have a sponsor and everything. And actually, if you can see it here, the Bears, the BEA, it was the first sponsor we had. It's like but it was translated. It would be something like a Berlin Energy Agency. And that's why we were searching for a name where we could hide that logo in there. And that's why we were for the Bears, as the bear also is in the logo of the Berlin city. So it fit right good. And that's how we came for the name. And then we officially founded these Bears Berlin, an official club. It's officially registered. And we started playing in the first Bundesliga. It was still a mixed team. It was still me and some boys. And then Klaus Gottesleben, he had the idea of, what about we make like a Bundesliga only for women? And I was like, stupid idea. He proved me wrong. But it started nearly the same as it was in the first years of the Bundesliga I experienced before. So of course there were no fixed leagues, and so you could register for the Bundesliga just by, hey, here we are the Berlin girls, we want to take part in that Bundesliga thing. So we got some wild cards, and we went there. I think in the first year with 2 or 3, I don't remember right, different Berlin teams, because in Berlin we had, I think, 15, 16 girls that were playing. And most of them were like on a rookie level. So it was a little bit difficult for me. And they asked me, but they were into it. They asked me like, okay, can we meet weekly, and can you train us, and can you show us how we can improve? So they were really into it. And then we formed 3 teams out of it and went there, and we participated in the first women's Bundesliga. And at that point, I was still allowed to participate in the other Bundesliga as well. And at some point, they forbid it. Like in the beginning, you either had to choose if you would play in the women's league or in the open Bundesliga. And then I think, I don't know, a year or 2 years later, they said, no, okay, if you are a woman, you have to play in women's Bundesliga. And that's where everything's changed for me. And it was pretty tough because I founded the club, I founded the team. It was my team, I was the captain and everything. And they forced me to just leave it. And I was really pissed off at that point. But and I was not that much into hanging out with girls also. So it was a little bit complicated, but that's where my friendship and partnership with Vivi also was developing at that point. And we got the opportunity to get one of these wild cards. They were like open for everyone. And we had the opportunity to grab one for the club, so for Bears Berlin. And I said, okay, I want to have that starting place for sure for the next couple of years. And that's where Vivi and I started building up this team together.
What was the did they have a rationale for differentiating the leagues like that? Like, why did they do that?
I think this is the interesting part, or everything has always 2 sides. It's one of the main aims is to be recognized as official sport. So not only recognized, but also seen by the people as an official sport. So the only idea or ideal, we could say, is behind separating is it's separated in every other sport,
Okay.
And that's why it should be separated in this sport as well, because we are like a real sport. You have to take us, if you want to take us for serious, we have to act like all the other sports do as well.
Well, okay. I feel
yes,
you.
and Vivi can go on with the rest of the story.
Well,
Which story?
Vivi, before you go on, 2 things. I want to just check in. How are we? Because we didn't talk about it before we started. How's everybody on time right now? Are you good? Is everybody fine?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Okay, because I want to hear the rest of the story and everything. Hannah, you good? Did you nod? I don't know.
Yeah, I have about 45 minutes or so.
Oh, I think that's
yeah.
I think
But it should be plenty.
Yeah, I think
sure.
that's fine. Yeah. And
Yeah.
before, and Vivi, I interrupt you before you follow up on what Lilly was saying. Lilly, just to backtrack a bit, you said something about when you made a club or something like that. When you had to make your own club, that you had to go before a notary.
Yes.
Does that mean that you were legally bound to adhere to the duties that were expected of you in your charter or whatever within your club? Like, we're talking like, when we say notary here, we mean it's like a legal obligation. Like, is that part of
It is. It is. The purpose is that the club, if it's officially registered. So we actually have a club register in Germany where you can have a look at all the clubs that exist. And it's about taxes. It's about legal stuff, etc. So there's a lot of things that actually change if you get an official club.
And I just want to say, I love that, because the closest thing we've ever had to clubs here that extended for years was about 20-something years ago, and it was not like that at all. It was fun, but it wasn't like that at all. And I like the fact, I mean, I don't know, maybe your experience is different because that's what you experienced, but I like the thought of there being more scrutiny and expectation versus, oh, let's just get a bunch of people together and drink on a Thursday night, you know? Not that that's not fun, hanging out on a Thursday night drinking, but, you know, but
Not
you
so
want some
formal.
larger goal.
Yeah, no, it's it's something really official. I mean, that's also about Germans. We love like the formalities and everything. Well, I don't actually like them. I hate them, but you have to do them if you're living in here. Everything has to do something with formalities. And it's we have like sheets and sheets of paper. What is the main purpose of the club? What is I don't know. There's everything written. It's like a rule book.
Right. Well,
and you need 7 members to found it.
Wow.
And they all have to sign it, and then you go to the notary and they make it official. You are officially in this official German club register, and actually you're a legal entity.
Wow.
That's it.
What I like about that, though, because that tracks something you were saying, Vivi, a long time ago about being in group play, and you said it very ambassadorially, very politely, but you mentioned, like, if you're not in a group with people that actually care or on the same wavelength with you, it's going to be terrible, you know? And to have this level, I mean, I agree with you on the paperwork, Lily, that's like a lot. That's a lot. But somewhere in the middle is good, and have people that I think presumably would only go through that if they gave a shit, right? Like, you have to. And I love that. That gives me hope, and I hope that we can maybe do something like that here one day.
I think at some point it's more binding, you know, because people that want to be part of the club, they have to pay a fee to be a member of the club, and so it's like everything is a little bit more official and a little bit more binding also.
No, I think that's important. I've ran a lot of softball teams, and you know, we would have sponsors that would pay the entry fees, and we would win money at the end. But you know, you have to pay for their hotels because you're traveling, and the jerseys, and blah 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 blah. And you do all of this to get to the end of the year to play Worlds, and then right before Worlds, your 4 best men can say, I'm gonna leave and go play over here. Sorry. I'm going to go play men's instead of playing on the mixed co-ed team that you've been playing because they offer more money. Well, I've put all the money into it all year with the same team, but they're not legally bound, so they would take the better deal. And that happened to several of my friends for the softball team. So I think that is something that is special about the leagues. You know, being legally bound is just like so much more official, like you said. And it's like, man, this is not that fun. You have to go and like do all this legal work, but like it really makes you feel like you're taking this a little bit more seriously to know that, you know, and I do enjoy that. I think that's special, and it's different. So, okay, we've made it to where they wouldn't let you run the mixed teams anymore, Lily. And then now we're building a women's team. Okay, Vivi, how do we go about building the women's team from there?
Building the women's team. Yeah, well, it's since Lily told you that the first time it was in 2010 that the Women's Bundesliga took place. It was actually I was playing for another team at that moment because I was living in Hanover at that time. So I played for the Hannover Partisan Elchkeller. That's what the team was called. It was more like an underdog team, but actually we got to win that tournament. So it was the first title for women's that we won. And like Lilly told you, after she got this place for the Berlin team. I think it was the first year we still played with some other Berlin girls. And then I think for 2012 we started it with together with Ellen Van Onkelen and Ekaterina Antonazova from Bulgaria and Belgium. It was kind of a incident, I don't know. Actually, we tried to find some new partners, colleagues for the team, and I was talking to Ellen before. We had some special relationship. We got bound and friends over some tournaments, and also with Kate, it was like she wanted to be there, and we just asked her, if you are going to be there to watch this Women's Bundesliga, you can also play. So why not playing with us? And actually, I think that's how we build up this first hardcore inner core team of the Bears. And starting from then, yeah, like we won that pretty easy, but also I think still because the format was a little bit different at that time, because we used to play best of 3 in every match in that year, and now it changed. So we only play like 1 set to 5 on every table. Of course, that's more difficult and a lot more can happen. And well, after 2012, we got some other nice players, also international players. It wasn't like that easy, but it actually came. It felt pretty naturally. We really thought it was not easy to find some really good players fitting into the team, because like we told you, the team spirit is very important for us. And but we found some new members who joined us, and some are still with us. Most of them are still with us. Some stopped playing, but most of them are still there. So we had I think a pretty good run from 2012 to 2016. We won every Deutsche Meisterschaft. And the last time we won was in 2018. So it makes like six titles.
Wow.
Yes, I think there are 6 titles now. And we're looking forward for this year now. Because now we have much more power, much more energy, international energy upcoming with Hannah and Sally, of course. And I'm pretty excited. I don't know what it's going to be. And of course, the goal will be to win this title again, and then, of course, to qualify for the European Champions League. That's that we had, I think, like 4. We won that title like 4 times before, and we would really like to take part again. And I think that's how we get connected to also Hannah and Sally now, because last year Hannah asked me about this ECL. What is it, and how can you take place at that tournament and stuff like that. And since we traded the jerseys at the World Cup in Nantes last year, I think that was the perfect fit, the perfect match. So we just got into contact, and yeah, I think that's how we got now our US Bears into the team.
US Bears.
Yes.
Well, I hate to take this conversation in a serious direction, but I got to know, Vivi, how did Lilly earn the title Long Shot Lilly?
Long Shot Lilly.
Where'd
Long
that
Shot
come
Lilly. It's coming from her normal shot that she's doing. She's doing the European pin shot. And since her most preferred shot is the long one, it's
Long side?
Long Shot Lilly. It comes from that.
Vivi, what's your nickname?
It's really nice. It sounds a little bit stupid if it's English, but the nickname is She Bear.
Oh,
Okay.
And it's the German. There is the bear in it, and you have and the German word for a push shot is Schieber.
Oh,
Ooh,
So, and as
like
her
that.
favorite shot is the Schieber, the pull shot, the push shot. It fitted like perfectly because we could put the bear in there and her favorite shot as well. But she has a second nickname as well.
What's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
because
Come on.
because it's really funny. It's this is the serious conversation I see.
Yeah.
Every bear. So at Hannah, get prepared. Every Bears member gets a nickname. Meanwhile, they're first participating for the team normally, and it comes out of nowhere. It's just out of a situation. It's gonna happen at some point. So everybody in the team has like a really uh, suitable nickname in some
Oh,
way. And
we
the
gotta
one,
know.
for example, the one that has Vivi has to tell herself because otherwise it's
No,
I
no,
don't know, maybe
you
it's
have to tell about
embarrassing.
mine, and I will have to tell about yours. I don't like to talk about myself, so you have to.
Okay. So it's not embarrassing for you. It's fine. Yes.
No, no, no.
Okay. It was at the Bundesliga. We were playing, and it was in the middle of the summer. It was really really hot, and actually, I don't know. Me, I'm partly Asian. I don't sweat at all normally. But Vivi is the complete opposite. She's like sweating pretty fast and actually a lot. And she's sweating, so the drops just like run down her face. And it was Kate. She was playing with her, and she was turning to her like to get, I don't know, a clap or something. And afterwards, after the match, Kate was. We were sitting down, and Kate was telling the team how funny it was when she turned around to Vivi, and she was seemed she seemed to melt like an iceberg. And at that time, so in the beginning I was captain of the team. Then in between, Vivi was the captain for the team for a couple of years. Now it's back to me as the captain of the team. And at that time, Vivi was the captain, so we called her Captain Iceberg.
Oh, awesome. I've got a suggestion for Hannah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Leave me out of this.
your nickname will come naturally. It will
How about
at the
Yeah.
weekend.
Perfect.
Hot
Tom,
shot
it doesn't matter.
Actually, I want to hear it.
Oh, God.
Hot shot Hannah.
Hot shot, Hannah.
It's nice, but it's not possible because
Impossible.
we have the Hot Shots Graz. It's an
Oh.
Austrian team, and it's the most dangerous opponent for us in the European Champions League. So she
Oh.
cannot be a hot shot.
Never mind.
Thank you for saving me, Lily.
You never know. Thank me later when you get
Maybe.
when you get your nickname. Maybe you would have been more happy with Hot Shot.
So Lily, I'll ask you this first, and then the follow up is for Vivi, because this is so exciting. Like, I can feel it. Just the team play, the interactions here going. I'm so excited. First off, actually, no, another question before that. Is this going to be streaming? Are we going to be able to watch this tournament on Twitch or somewhere? Like, where would we tune in? Because I want to.
I think
Yes.
there will be some matches streamed, but only some picked ones. So it's not
Okay.
possible to see like every match
It
of
won't be
us.
the whole. Okay.
Yes, but of course the most important matches like the semifinals and final will be streamed, I think. And maybe, I don't know, normally we always used to get to play one time in the stream at the weekend.
Okay.
But of course, since there are so many leagues, not only the first women's Bundesliga, but the seconds, the first and the second men's and women's Bundesliga team will be there. And we only have like one streaming. They will be handpicked
Okay.
matches.
Okay.
Is there a place to
But
find the scores? Is going to be published online as far as the scores go?
Yes, there will be.
yes, we have the
Go.
The German Federation has an official site where you can put live results. So all the time, like even if one game is won, you can see it immediately normally in the live results. And the stream is going to be on Twitch. And Vivi is right. Normally, you never know what they're going to put. And the men's Bundesliga is also taking place at that weekend. So it's going to be like a really huge venue and a lot of games they could stream. But as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure it is like that, they will put focus mainly on the first women Bundesliga at that weekend, because we're gonna have the playoffs, and the men's Bundesliga is gonna have the playoffs like a weekend later. They will not so it's only qualifications for the men. So they will put focus on the women, and hopefully we're gonna be there.
Okay, that's awesome. Because I want to make sure that we post it for all of our listeners and everything where they can watch, but we'll get that information later. But okay, so Lilly, so Hannah's coming over there for the first time to play in this for the first time. What should she expect and not expect?
Well, what you can expect is really, I think it's going to be a blast. I think if you never experienced something like this, it's going to be mind-blowing, because she's been to the World Cup in Nantes and experienced how it is to play for a team there with the national team. And of course, there were a lot of different kind of national teams as well playing. So the atmosphere it's pretty the same. So we have, it's only team events. So you have team members cheering for the other members that are playing. All over the venue. It's gonna be loud. There's gonna be a real nice atmosphere. And actually, even though it's a lot of players over there, most of all know each other. So it's still like a family feeling. And it's of course about meeting the community as well. I think the most special thing is that we as Bears also feel like a family. I think it's going to be beautiful. I don't know about the women's national team USA. I think they perform really good. They seem to be like a really good and close team. But I know about other nations. They often had issues in the team. And normally with the Bears, we are really like, it's very harmonic, and this fighting together and excitement together, and it's gonna be like tough. We're gonna face tough matches, tough opponents, and everything, and it's gonna be necessary. We will stick together like glue, and I think it's gonna be just awesome all over. And what not to expect, like having a bad time. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have a great time. You're gonna have a lot of laughing, and a lot of good matches and a great atmosphere. So what to expect is a mind-blowing blast, and what not to expect is the opposite of it.
Vivi, you got a follow-up for that?
No, there's nothing to add. I think it's going to be perfect.
That's awesome. Hannah?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And that was kind of what, I've always wanted something. Like when I figured out international foosball was a thing, and like there were like this whole other group of like awesome humans who are like as good as and better than the people that I've ever seen play foosball, I was just so amazed. I was like, I want to be a part of that. From in my eyes, you're a good foosball player if you are the best woman on Tornado. You're an amazing, the best foosball player if you can be great on any table. It doesn't matter. Like to me, that is so much cooler, and like it makes you such a better foosball player to me. Yeah, if you can shoot a pull shot and you can win everything on Tornado, that's really great. You're good. But like what happens when they take that away and now I want you to shoot a front pin on a Bonzini? Can you do that? If you can, that makes me like respect the game so much more, because I'm just a foosball nerd and a foosball lover. So I've always wanted that international experience. And I do really well with a strong leader. with someone who's going to say, these are my expectations. This is how it's going to go. And this is the job. Okay. Like I do really well with that. Very clear expectations. And a strong leader. It is what it is. And I think you get that from Lilly and from Vivi, and that's just who they are. And I think that is going to be something that means a lot to me for the Bears team. And the girls on the Bears team now, I've met most of them. And if not, we've had team calls and we have a group chat and all that. And they've been so welcoming and helpful in me figuring out my travel or helping pick us up or, anything. So I'm personally super, super excited to be a part of the team. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. But I guess I do have one question regarding the tournament. So is it open to the public? So, can anyone come in to watch, to pay to watch, or how does it work?
It's open for viewers, and there's no entry fee or something. So anyone who wants to come over and watch some Bundesliga, they can just come, and it's no problem.
Very cool. So I know a few of our viewers that are pretty consistent with watching our FoosWeek show, Reed Rector. And one of my buddies, he wrote me and he was like, I'm actually going to be in Germany this summer working on something. And he was like, I really want to come support the Bears. Will they mind if I just show up and they're not going to know me, but I'm going to be cheering. Like, I just want to come and cheer for you guys. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, I want you to ask and see if it's open to the public or if that's like frowned upon. So I had to check. Perfect. And yeah, he's really excited.
Reed is like the personification of everything I love about foosball. He's just so cool, and he just cares, and he tries his ass off, and it's just so neat. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
you'll love Reed.
He's going to go over there and have that experience.
Oklahoma's finest.
Yeah, seriously.
Nice.
Well, I think
I got to know.
Probably... Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Before I still have some more serious questions.
I want to hear them. I love them.
Okay. So, Vivi, again, first of all, I noticed that you were imbibing on air some white wine. I got to know.
Yes.
Is that some of Rhineland's best? I mean, what were you consuming? White wine.
I'm drinking. You mean which sort of, or?
Yeah, is it like a Cheval Blanc? It's a
Sauvignon Blanc, actually.
Sauvignon Blanc, nice.
Yes.
And one of the things that I remember about my trip to Germany was the amazing wine as well as the amazing food. So, what's your favorite flavor?
My favorite flavor. Well, I actually love white wine. That's why I know. I actually have some days off work now, and so I just wanted to have a chilled, relaxed mood here in this podcast, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to do now, to have a glass of wine.
What is actually interesting is the Bundesliga weekend we're going to have in a month. It's going to take place in a city called Trier in Germany. And Trier is it's located at a river named Mosel. And just around that Mosel and around Trier, the region is very, very famous for very good German wines, actually.
Nice.
So Hannah has to bring some home.
Don't worry. I'm going to leave the food suitcase and bring a wine suitcase.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Or if you, it's funny because you said you remember the good food, and then I was concerned about the food's going to be bad.
Never. Not in Germany.
If you drink enough wine, the food won't matter, I think.
True.
You know what's really, really cool about the main highway, the Autobahn, when you stop at a rest area. Now, in this country, you stop at a rest area at an average thoroughfare, you're taking a real chance eating the food there. But on the Autobahn, the rest areas are amazing. It's like for us, like a 5-star restaurant.
What?
Oh gosh!
Like really good food. Really good food.
Here, if you're in America, never stop at a rest stop One. Two,
Yeah.
don't eat any food if they
Right.
happen to have any.
Yeah.
I've never even seen food at a rest stop. I've maybe stopped at a rest stop like twice in my life, and I was scared both times.
No, it's
horrifying.
dangerous.
It's
But
ghastly.
the Autobahn, I mean, it's just the accommodations are wonderful. It's just so.
Yeah, they want you
Actually-
to get to the next city as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Actually, we had pretty good food in the USA when we were
When were you?
there
When and where was this? That you were
in
in?
2016, I think, for the Intercontinental Cup.
Okay,
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes, Vegas, and
Nice.
then West Coast up to San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Wait, did you drive out
Yeah.
there, or did you fly?
What? No, we made a road trip.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
Road trips. Did you take the freeway that goes like by the coast, by the Pacific Ocean? Did you get to see?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's the best. I tell everybody if you ever come over here, you got to just do that drive. It's so nice. That's where I live. I live in Southern California, so
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I
We
do
really
that.
enjoyed that.
yeah. I mean, I've grown up doing it like so many times, but like I was like, I know if it was the first time I ever did it, I'd be like, ocean, trees. I'm a simple person.
There's a couple of vineyards along that stretch of highway around San
Yeah.
Francisco. They aren't bad.
That's why I go
Okay.
trees. I had a drink.
No, we made like a really good road trip out of this. We had like one week in Vegas, and the other 2.5 weeks we drove through west to all California.
Did you go up
and down.
Did you go
Yeah.
to LA, Los Angeles, and like where?
Yes,
Wow.
and Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco,
That's
and then
it.
back to Vegas.
That's what I
Yes.
tell people. I say fly into San Diego, rent a car, and drive all the way up to Portland, Oregon, or even Seattle, Washington. Like it's just gorgeous. It's a lot.
Yeah, it was really nice. We enjoyed it,
And what time of year?
and we
was it?
enjoyed really, really, really good food as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of good food. Was it in March, April? Was that time of year?
Yeah, something
Okay.
like April, I think.
Okay, so it was nice weather. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I do believe, though, we should probably start wrapping up here. Lilly and Vivi, I have really, truly appreciated you spending time with us and learning all of this cool things about the tournaments there, the league play there. I'm so excited. I can just feel it. The energy just gets me excited. Like I never wanted to promote tournaments as it is here, how we do things here, because it's a long story, but I wouldn't want to be involved in it. But what you all are doing is something that I could actually feel passionate about and do here, at least in my little part of the state I live in. So I might reach out to you all and ask more questions about it because I think it's just awesome. But that being said, before we give you, Lilly, and you, Vivi, the last words, Tom, any last words from you?
Oh yeah. Go Bears.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kid.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Hannah?
Yeah, I'm just so glad that you were both able to be on the show. I think it's really important that both of you were here, and I appreciate the time. I know it takes time, to coordinate these things, especially with the difference in our time zones. But I really do appreciate it, and also appreciate the opportunity for a chance to play on the Berlin Bears. I think that is amazing, and also, thanks to our sponsors. Maybe Lilly can speak a bit about that quickly before we close out, because without them, we wouldn't be able to have, all of the nice things that we do for the team. So we have to talk about them for a bit. But I just can't wait. I booked my flights. I'm ready. I'm checking out the hotels. I'm looking for touristy stuff to go and do. And I just can't wait to see all the team members and get to take on the world again with you guys, though. Except I don't have to be against you this time. We get to take on the world together, so that's a lot easier on me. But yeah,
I think,
thanks again, guys.
I think that's the nicest about it.
Absolutely.
Bist du stumm? No. Okay. I can only say thank you as well, because it was a really nice invitation to get here to the show and to see all of you, to have this nice chat and conversation. Of course, to bring some information to the USA world, Foos world. And like I told you, Hannah, I can't wait to have you guys in the team. Can't wait to see you again. Can't wait to hang out, to cheer, and to have fun together. to get your fire into this team. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this weekend.
Thank you, Vivi. Lilly.
Yes, of course. From my side, also, you were very welcome.
Lilly, you're
I
ziemlich leise. We can't hear you.
I don't know.
I can
Nothing
hear.
changed.
No? Okay.
Okay, that is perfect. I think it's really nice that we have the opportunity over football to connect internationally. And whenever you have any questions concerning all the league stuff or whatever you want to know, just contact us. We will answer all your questions. And if you are willing to try to install something like that, of course, we can try to help as far as we can. And I think development in this sport is very important, and it can only grow if we all stick together. So thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.